All right, guys, Yassine here. Okay, so you would ask me like, what do I look at in a chart? What do I look at in a chart? What makes my conviction like so good that I have confidence that the stock will or that whatever chart I'm looking at is gonna go higher. Recently, I tweeted yesterday that I was nibbling. I was looking at some cryptos, even though I didn't really give it that much attention. But when I looked at a bunch of tickers yesterday on the crypto side, they look like, for me, to be honest with you, they look like much easier to read than stocks. Like stocks can go from A to B, but they just make it harder to go from A to B. So patterns will be sometimes like misleading. But when I looked at the crypto, they almost look like a textbook. So recently, I was looking at yesterday and today. I looked at through a bunch of them. I have like over I don't know, 3, 4, 4. That's probably like 20 or 30 ticker names of crypto that I was looking at. I was nibbling on some of them, and including this one. This is called Atom. So what I was looking at, what makes my conviction like I like the stock. I want the chart to be as simple as possible. The simple it is, the better it is. It's easier for you to read and easy for other buyers to read. What do you want? You want a simple base, like you have a longer base here. You got from this point all the way to here. So we had a resistance from June 2019. It tried to break at 20, which is August, which is over a year, which is good, and it failed, and it came back again, and then it broke. So you want that base, and you want like a support resistance. And let me pull this aside a little bit. So you want support and resistance. That's what basically you're looking for, support and resistance, and you want to break out of that support resistance, and then you managing your risk. How much am I buying? How much am I losing? And then you need some techniques to follow the trade so you can get most of it. I mentioned before in different videos, like if you want to go back and watch them, I don't know which ones, to be honest with you. You just do this moving average like a 21 and 50 just to keep it simple. Stock goes up like 20%. Crypto definitely they go more than that. They go some of them they go like 300-400% before they correct and they keep going. Stocks they don't do that. They don't move that quite. Some of them they do, but it's abnormal. If a stock goes up like 100% within like 2 weeks, that's not normal. So usually you want to take your percentage and then keep some of it just to follow the trade. Anyway, you're looking for support and resistance, and you're looking for a breakout. So it can be a flat base like that, it can be a wedge up, it can be a channel, it can be anything. And then you have to practice. You have to keep looking at so many charts before you get to that level. So but that's the base. You're just looking around that you're looking for, when you look at a flat base like that, you're looking for where to buy and then where to put your stop loss. Without that, like you're not gonna put a trade. If you tell me to put a trade in here, for example, when it broke out here, I'll put a breakout, even though I wouldn't buy here because like this is such a long candle. Like if I put a stop loss at 620 and the stock's already 8, it moved a lot, so I wouldn't be buying here because it's a big candle. So it has to, you can buy it like right when it starts breaking out and look at the chart on an hourly basis or 2 hour. Some of them they look at a 30-minute. Anyway. You want your risk to be as minimum as possible, 3-5%, whatever you can handle. And then if it failed, that's fine. That's totally fine. I mean, you just go back and take your stop, and then you move on. And then you wait for that stock to give you another opportunity. You keep watching it, and then you put just watch. That's all you're watching. You're watching for that stock to break out. So you have a breakout here before. You have a resistance line, and then it came back. And it broke out again, and they used that previous resistance as support. And then you look at the stock here, you go like, okay, so I have the 21, and then let's say we're watching right here, and you go like, okay, stock broke out, and then it comes back, and it shows the 21, and never closed below it, and then it's using this line, the resistance line as a support, and then I have an engulfing candle right in here. You don't have to know every single one of them, but I look at most of the bullish ones. I'm looking at engulfing candle. You could even put a trade on this one, like right in here, because it just broke out. You have a long base. It failed here. It broke out, came back. I wouldn't put a trade personally on this one because this is like a huge candle. So in order for this candle to be eliminated, you have the stock to you need the stock to move and close above the high of this candle. There's so many variables that you really look at. You can't just go like, okay, this and that. Some of them, they have to, there's so many things that you learn when you look at the chart. So including this one. So I can't just put it, you can put a trade here, but like if I want to put it here, I'll put like a small position. Like I wouldn't go all in. But here, even though like we still didn't close above the high of this candle, this is an engulfing candle. So this is like bullish and you have some volume coming in. So I'll put my stop loss right below here. Personally, that's what I would do. And then I'll watch the stock, what it wants to do. So it comes back. It flagged on a daily for 3 days and it just broke. So this one's eliminated. So this stock is telling me there's good signs that the stock still can push higher. If it comes back and starting to close below that candle, below here, I'll start taking some of my capital out. I'm not gonna wait for it to come back and break down here. And then you wait for the stock, and the stock eventually comes back, breakout, good volume, and it just follows the stock. You want to take some profit here, whatever have you, whatever you like. And then you can use moving average. Most of the time I use the 8 exponential, 21, and the 50. Sometimes I use the 65 as well. And then so what made my conviction again? So I looked at all this and I like the fact that it was a long base here, long base. That's what I like. And then it broke out. So even though I wasn't trading here at the time, what was this? This is January 16. It broke out. And then now what is it doing? It just consolidating. Okay, that's flagging. You can see that it's flagging. So we went like that, and you have a wedge like right in here, like right there. Okay, what else am I looking at? What gives me the conviction that the stock it's still bullish? Well, eventually, first thing, when you look at the chart so many times and you put a lot of hours looking at them, this thing's gonna pop and it's gonna attract your eyes. So for me, for example, first thing I looked at, it was respecting the 21. So that's the first sign. We had good volume on the way up, all right, and then on the way down here, when we get here, the volume, red volumes, was drying out. You can see it here. So once these volume bars cross that block line, it's telling me there's more than average volume. So it was more than average volume when it started breaking out here, and then all the way up, and then when it was coming down, correcting to the 21, which is normal for the stock to correct. It's not going to keep going up. It went from $8 all the way to $25. That's more than 100%. You know, so that's why I said cryptos. When I looked at them, they act differently than on the move up and then the move down. They're really volatile, so you have to really be careful. And then when they corrected on the volume down, and then here I didn't like the fact that it went down here. So, but what I liked after that is there was some support. There's some buyers who came in and supported that whatever it's stock, whatever it is, right at the 50. So it kind of like almost like flashes some buyers here who were holding on this area here. It kind of flashed them, and then the stock found the support right at the 50. It didn't like go all the way down here. Even though it would correct 50% of that move from here, it would still be fine, and you will see the stock taking a different shape. It's going to take me a long. The chart will look slightly different, but it's going to take me some time to go for that scenario. But anyway, when the stock bounced right over the 50, it went all the way up, right at that green line, and then you can see the stock is giving you signals here. The stock found in resistance right at that area, right here. So I mean, it's on a green line. So it came back here once, twice, and then it came back 3 times, 4 times, 5 candles. Came down, flashes everybody down here below here, found support at the 50. Went all the way back up to that area right in here, okay, and then it put a reversal candle right here, and then you expect if it was going to be bearish, it would have break down and then go in sideways like it will. The stock, see these candles right here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So if it was really bearish, for me, from my experience, it will trade on the 50 on the half below of this candle. So this candle right here, the red one, the stock will these candles will be on the lower half of this candle. So it will be like trading right in here, and it will have like a yellow, not yellow, a flag to the downside. Okay, so it will look like that. But these candles are going up, like it's trading on the upper half of this candle. So so basically what's going on is, as far as I know, that's as far as, there's nothing for sure, anything can flip. So as far as I know, they're trading, like they're trading. There's action going on right underneath the high of this candle. So it's building energy, as far as I'm concerned, to take out that this resistance. So I hope you did understand what I just said, because this takes a while to digest. Anyway, so we have a resistance, right? And you can see it obviously now since I put it on and I mentioned it. So, and then you can break it down by going to the hourly and the 2 hour. That's what I like to do, that sometimes. Well, actually most of the time. And you can see the stock trade here, came back, got rejected. Trade here, it went all the way up, but it got rejected. This is actually when it did flush everybody. And then it came back, same area, came back down, all the way back here, come back down, all the way back here. So we have a resistance a couple times. And then since it's been doing that, so it's been trending lower. And then you have a trend line, this green line, right? I mean blue line, I'm sorry, which is this one. This is blue line right there. So you have lower highs. So you have 1, you have 2, and you have 3. And then you have a wedge that you have resistance on this side, and you have resistance on this side. So basically they're coming up to meet right on this area. So once you start breaking out and good volume up here, for me that's really bullish, and that's actionable right there. So that's my take on this stock, whatever you want to call it. And it's plus it's flagging. You can see it's bullish. Like I said again, it's breaking. It got supported on the 50, and then so that's one side of being bullish. What about if the stock comes back and became bearish? Well, my first sign that the stock is going to be rejected in here, and then comes back, trade below here, or it comes back with whatever. It can come with any form. Either we get rejected with a huge candle, it comes down slowly, and then starting to take the low of that candle, that red candle, start breaking out and start closing below the 50, and then going from there. That's my bearish. So I would take my loss personally. If I had a position on it, I will take my loss here and then get out. So you have to be flexible. I mean, anything can happen. There's probably program that people with huge money they use programs. There's human beings. There's programs. You cannot expect what's going to happen. So anything can be bullish like that. I've seen them like that. You be like, no. Like for example, like the stock AMAT. I think was it AMAT? I don't know. Let me see. Let's see stocks. I think AMAT, right? Is it AMAT? It was a stock that it was really trading good, and all of a sudden one day it took out everything else. One day it was, I forgot which one is it. Anyway, so that was my take on what I like on stocks. Another one. This is another one. This is called Dogecoin. Matic. This is a different chart. It doesn't matter what the name is, to be honest with you, is as long as you know how to read a chart, So you go back, you look at the chart, and you have a base here. So it comes back from this green line all the way here. All right, the stock comes back, and then you found resistance. You want to see those points. Where does resistance is? Is it a flat base? Is it a channel? Is it a wedge? Is it what it is? And then let the stock just tell you what it is. You just got to pinpoint. It's actually, you just got to draw a line. You got one here and you got one here, and then we have a breakout. Good volume comes back, retest, and then you can get out. You can get in right in here when it started breaking out. And then you always want to look at the other side of the coin, not just because it looks looking bullish. It's gonna go up. You have to look. Okay, what about if this thing starts flipping up on me? How do I get out? Well, first time for me, like I said, when it did broke out here, starting to close below the low of that candle, I'm out. I'm not gonna wait for it until it comes back below here. I'm out. I want to be as out as possible, because if it comes back and break out again and start taking out the high of that candle, I'll get back in. I'm not gonna wait to get that full stop. And then the stock keeps going up. This actually did really, it went up, I think, like 600% in here in this move. And look at the whole time, it didn't even touch the 21 moving average. You can use Usually, sometimes like I have like so many scenarios to take profit. Not there's not only one. There's not only one for me. There's so many. I can sometimes get out like this one. Like this one, I would have put the 8 moving average, and then as soon as it start breaking out and closing below, I would assume they will start closing below here. Especially when the stock goes that's 100, 200, 300%. I'm not gonna wait for the stock to starting to close below the 50 or the 21. I already made enough money. If you can make 25% and up, man, every single trade and lose 5 to 3%. Man, you're good to go. You don't have to catch the stock when it's low on the bottom. You don't want to do that. So the stock moved, whatever you want to call this stock. It's called Matic, whatever you want to call it. It's a crypto. So what attracted me here again? Well, look at the huge volume bar. So we're in bullish trend. The stock was above the all moving average, so it's bullish. That's not obvious. You don't need nobody to tell you that. It's above moving average. It got bound. It got supported right at the 21. So if this was the support, because that's the first support, that's the first pullback. So if you start taking out and closing below that 21, so the stock will tell you that it wants to go lower. Starting to take the low, the last low, the stock will tell you it wants to go lower, and the trend pretty much it's over. It can find the support of the 50. You want to watch that. But if it did find the support of 50, bounce back, and it comes back again and start breaking and closing below the 50, the stock wants to go lower, and probably the trend is over at the time. It might wants to correct a lot lower than that. So this one here, what am I seeing? So we found the support, the volume drying out. Look at the green bars compared to the red bars, and then we have a trend line again that we found on resistance right in here. This is when I looked at the chart at 2 hours and 2 hours and 4 hours. You will find a resistance right in here. And then you can even draw like a VCP pattern right in here. Anybody with different eyes will look at a different thing. Anyway, but we found support at the 21, went back, traded on the right hand side. So this looks bullish for me. It's still supported at the 21. Well, this candle said something different. Like, okay, we're gonna go lower. But guess what? We never closed below here, below the low. So for me, if it was here like that, let's take this out. So if it was, let's say, if it was here, we're not looking at these candles. Just looking out, I will think like, okay, we might take this lower. But guess what? You have rules when you have discipline. That's what you want to wait and sit down and let the stock tell you. If I would have been here, some people would have predicted like, hey, it's gonna. So we're closing, the volume's picking up. We're gonna close below here. That's prediction. You don't want to do that. It used to mess me up a lot of the time. I will let the stock decide. Okay, if it takes this one, it will take it. But at the time, it's not. It didn't take it yet. So it didn't take it yet. So since it did close below the 21, I would expect it to move lower. It didn't do that. Well, it went sideways. That's, for me, that's bullish. That's not bearish. Until it starts taking out the low of this candle here. So it takes and close below here, and then start taking the low of here, starting close below the 50. Those are signs of a stock being bearish. I'm neutral. I don't like I have no biases against. I have no biases on any stock, on any. I'm just watching what the stock is telling me. That's exactly the mindset you need to build. Before, I wasn't like that before when I started trading. I was like, nah, man, because I'm in it. I want the stocks to go up. So you have the bias of that stock. Like, no, man, it should, and it does affect your decision and reading that chart. Even if you look at the chart, you should be neutral, man. You should be honest with yourself. So for me, here, that's bullish. So because on the bearish side, on the bearish case scenario, I mean, it should break down below here, and it should continue, or at least trade below. I mean, trade on the lower half of this red candle, like, which is going sideways like that, and then start coming lower. But guess what? The stock is not doing that. It's actually trading sideways. So it did close above the 20, and it's going sideways. It's building energy for another move higher. That's my analysis. What is the first sign? First sign will start taking out. When I say taking out, it will take out the high. It means it will close above the high of that red candle, which is what? Which is 37.57. Let's say 37.50. So 37 cents 60. That's the first sign that this stock wants to move higher. And then if you notice, I have an alert right at this level here. You'll be like, okay, how did you come out that level? I will go to the to the hourly, and then you will see the stock. So if this is too much for you, always reduce it as much as you can. Let's go to the 4 hours, and then you be like, okay. So the stock, before looking at this side, it's hard. It's going to be hard to read on this stock because a lot of volatility in here. When it went down, it found support here. Where is the first resistance it went to? It went to this line, which is almost 39.60, and then it came down. It went all back again to that line, and then it came back down. It went close to it, and then it got rejected again. And if, like I said again, with this red candle, you would expect the stock to go lower, because I would think it would gonna go bearish. The stock didn't do that. It was acting differently, so it went back to that trend line. Look at that trend line that I draw here. So now we're having lower highs, and we have a resistance flat like that, and the stock is still going inside that. So for me, from my experience, that's the right hand side of that cup, almost like a VCP right in here, the volatility contraction pattern. So the action is getting tight. So the action here, it was from here to here. So let's change that and put it in black. And then now the volatility, it's getting lower from here to here. So this action here. So look at the length of this action here compared to this one. So the price is getting tight. What does that mean? What does that mean? The price is getting tight. It means there's buyers who came in and supported the stock. What I mean supported the stock? They bought the stock. They bought it, so they found there's value in it. They didn't let it drop. So that's bullish. That's how I interpret the stock. So now, what's the next action? You'll see the stock when it broke down here. This is a little bit, like I said before, it was a little bit difficult to read it. What I mean read it, I mean finding that support resistance, but we did found it right in this area because the stock tested it twice. And then, so now once you start taking out that level, which is 39, we'll say let's say 40 cents, give or take. You start taking that on a daily basis, or at least 2 or 4 hours. That will be the good time to start taking action on it. Okay, I'm not saying buy it. I'm just explaining what charts do. I'm not saying buying it here. I'm just giving you examples. Do your diligence. I'm not your financial advisor. I don't have no subscription. I have nothing. I'm just telling you. I'm just explaining to you what I'm seeing in the stock. And as far as I'm concerned, that's bullish right there. So what's the other side? You always want to look at and read the other side of the coin. Okay, you roll the stock starting to roll over. You're starting to close below here. That's different. And then you start taking the last low. And you can use that actually as a stop. So you wait for the stock to break out and makes a low, and then wait for it to make another high, and then you put your stop loss here. Stock comes back, make a low here, and then wait for it to goes back, and then start making a new high. Not necessarily a new high, but you have to give it some time to show you, to lead you. Okay, and then you move your stop all the way. Okay, all the way. If it takes I would say probably here to here. See here, the trend is over at the time, but you just gotta wait for it, and then wait for another opportunity to comes back again to break out and make another pattern, whatever it is, and then go from there. So I hope you kind of learn something from this. Chart, it doesn't matter what it is, crypto, forex, no matter what, it's the same thing if you know how to read chart. I want to show you a couple stocks that I'm interested. I'm not interested in, but I'm just watching them. Some of them. This is SI. This is stocks. We're kind of switching off now from stocks to from crypto to stocks. So stocks was really breaking out from here. It made tremendous move. Okay. Stocks is a little different. When they go like 80%, 100%, man, this is something abnormal. You want to take a lot of profit as possible. You don't wait for it to break the 21. Take some profit, man, and you'll be happy. Take half, you'll be happy. So stock was good, got supported right at the 50, went up, got rejected, got supported again, This is one of my favorite candles sometimes when they open lower and they close higher. It found support at the 50, you put your stop loss right below there. And then went sideways, broke out again. That 50 found support at the 50, slightly above average volume right in here. And then got rejected right in here. So we have a lower highs right in here. So for me, when I look at the chart, okay, I have higher lows. That's bullish. Stock still being supported at the 50, which is the institution support. That's what usually when they come in and they start supporting the stock. So I want to do more reading. Okay, I want to move on to the 1 hour chart, and then you will see you can look at the chart, this as an inverted head and shoulder, whatever you want to read it. Make it as simple as possible. You had stock comes back here, we got rejected. Went back here, got rejected. Went back here, got rejected. Went back here, didn't get rejected. This is we're looking at the 4 hour. It went sideways. Okay, it went sideways. That's bullish. It wants to go if higher. Is this buyable here? Do your own diligence. I'm not saying buying here. I'm just explaining what I'm seeing here. It can roll back over. So what's the first sign that it's going to get rejected? You're starting to close below that candle here. That 152.75. Started closing below here. The stock wants to go lower here and test one of these lows here. If it doesn't, if it starts taking, the stock comes back here when it bounced at the first sign here, right in here, like 173. It got rejected. It went back here. Close. It's never going to be the perfect price. It got rejected. It went back here, it got rejected. So you have resistance as well right in this area. Okay, and then you have resistance starting from here all the way to here. So you're starting to go back here. If you got rejected and found support in here, that's telling you the stock is really bullish and wants to go higher. But definitely when it's taking out that level, which is what 173, 174, whatever it is, that's going to be stock is going to be really bullish. And you can see that the areas that actually there's no area that I draw here that the stock wants to go higher. And then you want to look at again, don't forget to look at the stock on a different view. This is the daily and this is the intraday, and you look at it. What I like to do, I like to look at it on weekly, at the end of the week, and see what's happening. We have some huge bar, red bars right in here. So you start taking out the high of those red bars. I'm talking about this one, and I'm talking about this one. You start taking out these bars, and the stock is going to be, in my opinion, is going to be bullish. So the high is 165.50, and then you have 170 on the dot. So those are areas, in my experience, that's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm seeing here. You start taking out the high of that candle, that's really definitely bullish. But still, we're just going sideways, and the stock from the move here, from here actually. Yeah, from the breakout here, it just how much it did correct 50%. Well, actually, you got to go all the way back here with the Fibonacci. It went all the way to 50%. You can see it here to the side. They have the wick all the way to 50%. So that's normal, and stock's going sideways. Can it get rejected and roll over? Absolutely. You start taking out the low of that candle here on weekly. Yeah, I would expect it to go lower. Until then, I'm not predicting anything. I'm just acting whatever the stock is telling me to do. And then so yeah, so you have 170 and then you have 160. So that's the prices that the stock wants to go even higher. There's SI. There's so many other chart that I was gonna discuss, but this video is gonna be too long. So I hope you get some value out of this stock. If you liked it, if you liked the explanation, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, help the channel, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.